Why dry skin on face? I'm going to start the video by talking about why dry skin occurs, and then I'm going to move into some of the skincare ingredients you can use if you've got dry skin, and I'll also be sharing some skincare tips. Let's start with why dry skin occurs. Now, the cells in the visible layer of the skin are arranged like bricks. Just like bricks are held together by mortar, these cells in the visible layer of the skin are held together by something called lipids. These are fats, oils, waxy substances, and all the other good stuff that the skin needs. This layer of the skin is also called the lipid barrier. Now, for people with dry skin, this lipid barrier is weak. So what do you have to do if you've got dry skin? Just two things. Number one, make this lipid barrier strong. Number two, look after what you have, meaning don't damage this lipid barrier even further. Don't weaken it further. That's all. Now let's get into the skincare ingredients and some tips that you can use if you've got dry skin. I'm going to start with cleansers. I'm going to share 5 tips for cleansers and dry skin. Let's get started. The first tip is don't use any cleansers which has got fragrance in them. Fragrance is going to further damage that lipid barrier. Number 2, avoid cleansers which are very foamy. More foamy means it's very harsh on the skin, and that's not something dry skin needs. Number 3, if you've got to remove makeup or sunscreen from your face, don't use makeup wipes. Instead, double cleanse your face. So what that means is, first use an oil-based cleanser. An oil-based cleanser gently melts away all that makeup and all that sunscreen, and then follow it up with a mild water-based cleanser. You can actually tell if a product is oil-based cleanser or a water-based cleanser looking at the ingredients. But if all that is too hard for you, couple of very quick tips. An oil-based cleanser usually will have the words, most of the time will have the words oil-based cleanser on its label. Now, a mild water-based cleanser will usually have words like gentle, calming, hydrating, pH balanced, creamy. Now, the fourth tip is look at the ingredients of the product. Look for a product which has got ingredients like niacinamide, ceramides, and humectants. Some of the humectants, good effective humectants, are glycerin and hyaluronic acid. Hyaluronic acid could also be listed as sodium hyaluronate. So look for cleansers which has got these ingredients. Now, the final tip is no long hot showers. I know this is not a tip most of us like, but avoid long hot showers because the hot water damages that lipid barrier. Lukewarm water is good, but of course if you can actually have cold showers, even better, the best. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is exfoliation and dry skin. Now, what happens is the cells on the top layer of the skin, they have to fall off regularly to make way for the new cells from the bottom layer of the skin to move up and replace them. Some of these old cells are very stubborn. They refuse to fall off. So what they need is a gentle nudge to tell them, knock, knock, your time's up. Move on so that newer cells can replace you. And that's what exfoliation is all about. Now, if you've got dry skin, avoid exfoliating agents which are scrubs. Scrubs are very harsh on the face, and they're particularly even harsher on dry skin. Use ingredients like AHAs and PHAs. Now, these are alpha hydroxy acids and polyhydroxy acids. These are very gentle exfoliating agents. Some of the ingredients are lactic acid. Lactic acid exfoliates and also hydrates the skin. So that's a huge tip. Other ingredients are glycolic acid, then you've got mandelic acid, malic acid, lactobionic acid, gluconolactone, and galactose. Now, the next tip is try and exfoliate in the night time. See, whenever you're exfoliating, you have used some force on the face. So you don't want to go out in the sun, and that'll the sun's UV rays will hurt the skin's top layer. So always try to exfoliate in the night time. And the final tip is, after exfoliating, hydrate that face, look after that face. You've used some force, so look after that skin and do whatever you need to do to give that extra love and care and nourishment to the face. Now to the moisturizers and dry skin. Now moisturizers not only have to look after that lipid barrier, but also have to strengthen that lipid barrier. So what do? Look for moisturizers which has got ingredients like niacinamide, ceramides, colloidal oatmeal, peptides, squalene, and some humectants in it. Humectants are like glycerin or hyaluronic acid, which is often listed as sodium hyaluronate in the ingredient list. Now the next step is, try to use thick creams, not thin lotions. Now the creams are more oil based and that's what your dry skin needs. But of course, if you're going to apply makeup, applying a thick cream and makeup on top of it does not work. Then maybe for makeup, first apply a serum and a thin lotion and then the makeup and finally the sunscreen. And then in the night time, make sure you do apply that thick cream. That's really essential for dry skin. And the final tip is, apply moisturizer on the damp skin. Don't apply moisturizer on a very dry skin. On a damp skin, the moisturizer is more easily absorbed into the deeper layers of the skin and it works much more effectively. A very quick reminder, if you are enjoying this video so far, please give it a like and do subscribe to our channel. Now let's talk about serums. Now a moisturizer has got multiple ingredients. A serum, on the other hand, has got only 1 or 2 active ingredients. So it's very specialized, it's very focused. So these ingredients will go on the skin and they'll be at a higher concentration in the product and they'll go do the work that they're meant to do. So some of the serums are serums which are niacinamide serums, or you can have vitamin C serums, or you could have a humectant serum, which is a hyaluronic serum. So all these serums, they supercharge the moisturizer. Incorporate serums into your skincare routine. Start with serums and then follow it up with a moisturizer. Inflammation is something quite common on any type of skin. Now, inflammation tends to occur more in a dry skin. Now, with inflammation, as soon as the inflammation occurs, you need to control that inflammation because that will develop into dark spots and we don't want that to happen. As soon as inflammation occurs, what you need to do is start using products which has got ingredients which can control that inflammation. So use products which has got vitamin C, centella asiatica, niacinamide, zinc, calendula, azelaic acid. Now these are all the ingredients which can help in calming that inflammation. And another ingredient which is quite effective too is licorice extract. In dry skin, because the lipid barrier is weak, what happens is 2 things happen. Number 1, the water from the deeper layers of the skin will evaporate easily into the environment because this barrier is not strong enough to stop it. And then all the environmental nasties will also attack the skin easily because this barrier is not strong enough to stop it. And when these attacks happen, there will be breakouts on the skin. And because the water can escape easily, the dry skin tends to become dehydrated as well. Now, one final tip is use a silk pillowcase. Silk pillowcase will have a huge difference on all the breakouts of the skin. The dry skin is irritating, dull and itchy, and the fine lines on the face is much more visible if you've got dry skin. Dry skin is a skin type, that is, you're born with it. So it requires constant looking after. You can't just fix it and forget about it. It needs constant care. Now there are other reasons like the weather. If it's in winter, you do get dry skin, or if you're in menopause, your skin becomes drier, or with age, skin always tends to get drier and drier. So that's all. All that you need to do is to actually look after that lipid barrier. Make sure it does not weaken further and add strength to it. If you enjoyed this video so far, please give it a like and do subscribe to our channel, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.